Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As all of you all must be aware, the SNAP scores were released last afternoon. So congratulations to all the aspirants. On behalf of the admissions team at Symbiosis Institute of Digital and Telecom Management, Pune, this is Asbana Velati, and I have with me my co-host and colleague, Surashish Majumdar. And we welcome you to the beginning of the last leg of the admissions process, which is going to be your GDPI WAT process. And we know that there will be a lot of questions that you may have now that the results are out. You will be looking at institutes and how to crack the institutes that you really want to go to. So this is us, the admissions team, happy to answer all the questions that you all may have. So Sureshish, you may take it forward from here.
Hello everyone, my name is Symbiosis Majumdar and I'm a first year student at SIDTM. I've completed my graduation in mechanical engineering and I've joined SIDTM as a fresher.
Sureshish, do you remember the time when your result came out and when your SNAP score came out? What were you doing that day? And like, were you like were you at home or were you outside and it was just like a sudden flow that like something that was just dropped on you or what?
Yeah, so I remember that the SNAP result during last year was a bit off time because I remember around 10 o'clock in the night I was walking and all of a sudden there was a message saying that the result has arrived. So yeah, I was taken aback by the time of the result. But yeah, then after that, I saw the percentile and then started my preparations for GPA. I was in the same position as the aspirants and I can understand them.
Okay, so now that we've discussed what Sureshish felt like then, let's get set rolling with the format. So we will initially discuss things about the institute, how you should prepare for the GEPI process, and then we will take any questions that any of you have for us. Please do continue dropping them in the chat box below and we will try and answer as many as we can. So to begin with, Symbiosis Institute of Digital and Telecom Management is India's premier digital and telecom B-School, a one-of-its-kind institute, and a constituent of the Symbiosis International University. The important dates, the result was declared. Go ahead, Sureshish.
So coming to the important dates, it's useless to say now that declaration of SNAP results have already happened and you all might be happy with the results, I hope. Okay, so next is the shortlist for GPIVAT, which is tentatively should be out by February 7, 2022. Then is the GPIVAT round, which everyone is eagerly waiting for, and we are here to answer all your questions on that. So that the tentative date for the GPIVAT round is February 17 to February 28. And finally, after everything is over, after the GPIVAT, the first merit list would be announced on March 7. And the last date to register for SIDTM is February 3, 2022.
Okay, so another important point that I must mention here, because I made this mistake last year, please keep checking your emails and also your spam folders for any notification that you may get about your selection letter. Because I remember I got mine on the 4th of February last year. The schedule was slightly different. I got my selection letter for SIDTM on the 4th of February, and it was in my spam folder, and it was a message also usually comes. So please pay attention very closely to your email boxes, and also try and keep your passwords and IDs that you use to log into the SNAP portal handy, because when you do get your selection letter, you will be asked to go fill in a form there to confirm your acceptance. It will be to confirm you accepting your acceptance letter, tentative acceptance letter. So do keep it handy and make sure that you, now that the result is out, the next step of the process is your, like we've mentioned time and again, the GEPI process. SNAP weighs 50% of the exam, but what is yet to come is going to weigh more in terms of the personal interview is going to be 30% weightage, the group exercise 10, and the written ability test 10. Now remember, the process is going to be online. So while it would be nicer to have interaction in person. The online setup requires you to stay in a room that is calm, it should be well lit. Please do check your internet connection, and remember, just in case you happen to lose internet connectivity, please don't panic. There will be volunteers who will help you, and you can always rejoin the process. So don't panic and don't worry. Just try and keep your cool on that day, because it is important for you to perform well.
Yeah, so as my friend Azbana was saying, some more tips for the G pivot process. So again, please ensure that you have a stable internet connection, okay? Because it's a fully online process, so it's one of the must necessities to have a very good and a fast running internet connection. And please maintain a positive body language that definitely puts an impression on the one who will take your interview. And please be confident, don't fumble, and refrain from indulging in an argument. This is especially in the GD, right? Because it's a group exercise. Just be polite, let everyone speak, and put in your points turn by turn, right? So please don't consider it as a debate, okay? Don't be rude to others, and stay updated on the current topics, because you can get any topic, right? So it's advised that you read some newspapers daily, read some business journals daily. So if you do these things, I think you are good to go.
Also, do remember that when you're sitting for the process, try and keep a pen and paper next to you, because during the G, you are usually given about a minute or two to prepare for it. So if you have a pen paper handy, it will be easier for you to jot down notes. So keep that in mind. And also, I remember last year when I was sitting for the process, once you're done, so it will happen, there will be a GE, there will be a break, and then you will have a PI. Try and be updated with your resume, know what you want to do, and try jotting those points down, because as much as nobody knows you better than you know yourself, but if it's on paper and if it's in front of you, it just reiterates it that much better. So keep pen and paper handy is all I would like to say when it comes to the GEPI process. So last few days we've received a lot of queries about SIDTM. What does an MBA in digital and telecom management entail? What is its reward? Is it important to do it in today's times, because it's such a niche domain? And will it help you carve a niche for yourself in the days to come? So the world now is moving to the digital space, and the institute has added subjects like IoT, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, machine learning to its academic curriculum, besides the general MBA subjects that we have, to keep its students updated and aligned with the current industry trends. So if you have any other questions that you would like to ask us, please drop it in the chat box below about the curriculum or the placements or things like that. So, a lot of times we've been asked why would a lot of my friends, when they found out that I was doing an MBA in digital and telecom, as to why such a niche domain. It's because the pandemic most certainly gave the digital world a nudge. We've always been talking about how the future is going to be electronics and there'll be flying cars and machines that can talk. Well, machines do talk now because of Internet of Things. And it is important that as managers of businesses that we will be working for tomorrow, we understand the nitty-gritties of this today. Because as important, if you don't know a product, you cannot entirely sell it well. So an MBA in digital and telecom is like future-proofing your career.
Okay, so now I'll be talking about the specializations, and let me tell you all of you that SIDTM offers 3 specializations: analytics, systems, and marketing. The MBA DTM offered at SIDTM is a dual specialization with finance compulsory across all the 3 specializations as a minor. We believe that finance is the backbone of any managerial job, right? Okay, so the first specialization is analytics and finance. With the increasing demand for data science and analytics, SIDTM introduced analytics specialization in 2017. The analytics specialization lays a strong focus on various analytical tools the industry uses. Many additional in-demand industry certifications and projects are also available for the students. You can get into profiles like business analyst, risk management, etc. Coming to the second specialization, we have the systems and finance specialization. This specialization is for the new age techno managers responsible for business process, product development, project management, etc. Students are trained to deliver financially viable solutions to the IT and the ICT industry. You get to study subjects like cloud computing, cybersecurity, and ICT framework. Students land profile in jobs like IT advisory, process consultancy, pre-sales, cybersecurity, etc.
Okay, so the last specialization that is offered, it's last but most certainly not the least. The very exciting, and this one may sound familiar to most of you, is marketing and finance. This one is slightly familiar because this is there across these schools, but marketing at SIDTM is the perfect balance between technology and management education. The students are exposed to various technological aspects here. So when you say technological aspects to marketing is, you can talk about digital marketing and its growth, Salesforce as a channel, brand management, product management, which is now such a big deal. And here with product management, we mean digital products. So it's as simple as when you log on to the Amazon app, and there is a reason why every button is placed at a certain place, and the reason the website or the app is the way it is. And that is what digital and telecom marketing in digital actually entails you and prepares you for, because like for example Instagram reels are really addictive. I mean, when we're not doing anything, I think most of us are spending our time on Instagram going through reels. The people who made that decision to have that product, reel is a product of Instagram. So when you understand technology and when you understand the miracles technology can do for you, you can not only come up and ideate with better products but also know how to sell them. So students at SIDTM specializing in marketing often land roles like that of digital marketing managers, brand managers, marketing analytics professionals, among others. Also remember that marketing is an art, but it is also a science, and so is technology. And when both of them are amalgamated is when miracles happen. So we will now take a few questions from the audience before we go ahead. The first question that we have is from Bikash Gupta. Is there a slight advantage for engineering students in college admission and campus recruitment? I have seen in past batch stats that there are more than 75% students from engineering background. Bikash, my background is a BBA in media and communication, and I can very, very confidently tell you that there is no such advantage that engineering students have over non-engineering students, or non-engineering students like non-engineers have over engineers, because there is a very beautiful mix of both technology and management. So like, let's say from someone who's an engineer, for them the technology subjects may not be as new, but the managerial ones will be. And the profiles that come to SIDTM are again techno managerial profiles. So what you're going to learn, if you've done engineering, let's say for example if you're an engineer, Bikash, you will be introduced to new management subjects, and for management students it will be technology subjects. So it's like peer learning here is slightly more important than other places, because you learn more than just in classrooms. So even when it comes to placements, the companies, SIDTM does not favor any particular student from a particular background. 100% opportunities are available to all 100% eligible students. So, and SIDTM is an equal opportunity institute, whether it comes to admitting students or giving them opportunities when it comes to jobs. There is no such discrimination and or bias displayed by the institute.
Okay, so we have another question from Arvinda. Hi, I got 80.04 percentile and background BE computer graduation. Really looking forward to convert SIDTM. How can I go about the GPI process? So Arvinda, I would like to say that since the exam is over, please don't think about the percentile. Now the main focus should be on GPI. And as we are already saying that to crack GPI is not a very tough process. You just need to follow certain rules. For example, during group exercise, as I already told you, please don't treat it as a debate. Be polite to others. And during the personal interview, maintain your posture, have a stable internet connection, and go through the basic interview questions like why MBA, why do you want to pursue techno managerial MBA. So just go through the basic questions and be confident, you will be good to go.
Okay. The next question that we have, actually we have two questions. I'm going to club both of them. One is from Aditya Gupta asking, is finance a minor? And the next question we have is from Pradeep Kumar saying, why is finance a compulsory minor? So Pradeep and Aditya, this is to both of you and to everyone else listening. I have done my BBA in Media and Communication, and I am super scared of finance. I detest the subject entirely. And I was very afraid before coming here. One, because I had no idea about technology. And second, finance is a compulsory minor, and that's what I've been trying to run away from my entire life. But here, you have to understand that as managers, businesses function. The base of every business is finance. The like a business in basic definition is buying and selling of goods and services, and buying and selling involves money. So if as managers you do not understand the importance or how to allocate money or optimum utilization of financial resources, or to be able to read financial reports, it will cause problems later when you have to escalate to senior management positions or that of the C-suite. By C-suite, I mean CEOs and CXOs and CTOs. So it is imperative that finance is not only taught but also understood by marketing students, not just marketing, I'm sorry, management students across all domains, which is why at SIDTM, finance is a compulsory minor. And also for students who are engineers and who are scared, we also have bridge courses taken by the faculty, where before the curriculum actually begins, you will have you will be taught basics of finance for the engineers, and for the non-engineers you would be taught basics to telecom and technology, so that when classes actually start, everyone is at par. So there is provision. The faculty does take a lot of effort into ensuring that all the students are taught at the same pace, in detail, without burdening them too much.
Okay, so we have arrived at one of the most exciting parts of the session now, the placement figures. Coming to the summer placement data, the highest stipend for the batch of 2022 stood at 1,60,000 INR, and the average figure for top 50 students stood at 55,800 INR. In the pie chart alongside, you can see that companies from almost all domains visited the campus to offer summer internships to the students. The entire batch was placed during the summer placements. Okay, SIDTM boasts a 100% placement figure for all its eligible students. In fact, I'm glad to announce that all the eligible students from the batch of 2022 are now placed. The highest domestic package stood at 29.04 LPA, and the average of top 50 offers stood at 15.84 lakhs per annum. The batch average stood at 11.63 lakhs per annum. Another point to note is that the batch size at SIDTM is just 150 students, which means all students get a number of opportunities to choose a role based on their interests and skill sets. So the job profiles, you can just go through the job profiles that are offered at SIDTM. SIDTM offers a plethora of job profiles, and these are the job profiles that have been offered, some of the job profiles that have been offered to our students at SIDTM.
Okay, so now to take some more questions. In how many days will we be getting a call? This is from Shubh Dhamu. Shubh, remember, tentatively as of now, you should receive the offer letter. I'm sorry, not offer letter, your admissions acceptance letter on the 7th of February. And like I said, please keep checking your email, keep checking your spam box, and keep the portal, the login ID and the password to the SIU portal, which you used to fill the SNAP form, ready. Because this is what happened last year. We had, it's a website where you will get all the colleges that you've applied to will be mentioned, and where you've been accepted will also be mentioned. So you will have to select your date for your GEPI process. So remember to keep the login ID, and also when you all do receive your acceptance letters or admission call letters, make sure that you select the dates in time for your GEPI process, because the slots are limited, and you may not get a slot on a day that you prefer. So make sure that you do it as soon as you receive the letter.
Okay, so the next question is from Anirudh Khurana. Do you have any idea about the GE process this year for SIDTM? What kind of exercise would we get at that moment? Discussion, debate, or anything else? So Anirudh, it depends on the interviewers. Just be prepared on that day. Prepare the basic rules, prepare the basic protocols on that day, and check on your team skills and be attentive throughout the process because to be honest, you can get any topic. It depends on the invigilator, and the questions asked in the interview can be anything. So just be prepared, study thoroughly about your background. You may get various questions about your background in the interview, and just be thorough with the basic MBA questions that get asked in the interview.
So Anirudh, to add to what Sureshi said, I don't know how much this is going to be of help, but last year the topic that we had a discussion, and the topic for my panel was will Quora ever become Wikipedia? So it was very offbeat because you're coming to you come with this whole mindset that it's going to be technology based and very digital in telecom, which it may be, because like Sureshi said, it really depends on the panelists that day and what they're trying to gauge and what is it that they're trying to understand from you. But remember that the panel there, they may give you the topics may seem random and they may seem offbeat, but remember that everything that you say is being scrutinized, and the way you portray yourself, and it's not just what you say, it's how you say it is also being looked into very carefully. Because I'm actually very proud of this, that SIDTM does not, your previous academic records are not the only thing that is considered. They do check for your intellect, your knowledge, and what is it that you will bring to the table as a budding MBA student, and how it will entail later when you become a manager. So remember that they are watching everything that you're doing. The next question we have is from Tanmay Singh. As an arts graduate, will I be able to cope up with all these tech subjects? Yes, Tanmay. As an arts graduate, you must also understand that technology is also somewhere an art. Like I gave this example of Instagram. Instagram it's an app. It is purely science. But then knowing, as an art student, you must have studied psychology or sociology and things like that, which will enable you to perform, to understand marketing better. Because like, let's say I'm currently studying this subject called consumer behavior, and I'm actually very grateful for having studied psychology in my undergraduation, because when it comes to knowing what the consumer wants or how to talk to them, how to approach them, all these things really become handy. So whatever your previous experience may be in terms of education, know that in some form or the other it is going to help you here. And when you start at SIDTM, everyone is going to be more or less on the same page, because the faculty puts in a lot of effort in those bridge classes where they will teach you the basics, so that when classes actually start, no one will be lost. You will not be wandering in class.
Okay, so the next question is from Gaurav Shirsat. How will be the VAT conducted? So Gaurav, the VAT will be conducted online. In fact, the entire process, as I already told you, would be online, including the GE and the PI. And in VAT, you will be asked to write a paragraph on a particular topic. So again, here also it's random. So the whole process is only random. So you can get any topic. So stay updated on the current topics, go through newspapers and business journals, and please write on your own, because the article or the paragraph would be checked for plagiarism. So Asbana, do you remember your VAT experience?
I do. So I remember my GPI happened on 14th February last year, and my written ability test was on 16th February, and I was not at home. It was supposed to happen at 10 a.m. if I'm not wrong. And the topic that there were a list of topics and you had to choose one. And I had to write about cloud kitchens and the expansion of cloud kitchens in India and the future. And so it was supposed to start at 10 o'clock, and I think you get about 20 minutes to attempt the exam, the test. And I got very excited seeing this whole cooking, something about cloud kitchens, because I really enjoy spending time in the kitchen. But for some reason, after I logged in very late, which again is something that you all should avoid doing, because as much as the world moves towards technology, again, it's a machine, and sometimes it may fail you. Thankfully for me, it was a hit and miss, because if you do log in later than the time allotted to you, you will have lesser time to attempt your paper. And I logged in at 10:02, and I had only 18 minutes to attempt it, and I started panicking. But again, that does not help. So please learn from my mistakes. Do not, because at the end of it, once I did submit, I went into this whole regret mode saying, oh, I could have written this and I could have spoken about this and that. And so try, like, be early. Do not panic if like things go wrong, because you can again always re-log in. And try keeping a format when you're writing, because if you write, try making your sentences coherent and make sure that they align with each other. Because if not, then there is a problem. Like, problem in the sense, if they don't understand what you're trying to convey, they're not getting the point. So do that. And I'm pretty sure this happens to a lot of us, that at the end of it, you will feel like, oh, I could have done this better. But just know that in the moment, you did put your best foot forward. And that for any, like, we're always wishing you the very best. And that you will make it through to where you want to go. So moving on, I think this slide, just like the placement, is again very exciting. SIDTM is located at the Lavale campus in Pune. And we like to call it Hilltop Heaven, because when you do come here, again, thankfully for the government, like, we have been allowed to resume offline classes again starting today. So it has been a very fun, long day for us here in college. We do have a lot of events on campus. Besides the activities that you see, we have a lot of sporting events. It's called Grudge. It's like the biggest sporting festival kind of thing that we have. We celebrate a lot of festivals together, because this is your home away from home. You're going to be here for 2 years, and the people here do become family. So we have a lot of fun experiences that we do share. We also have 12 committees on campus that you can be part of. Those committees, SIDTM is a student-driven institute. We are students here at SIDTM, first year students, both of us, and we're part of the admissions team. Similarly, we have the placement and corporate interface team. We have the social service team called Sparsh, where they do these classes for underprivileged children. And we have the student welfare and fest committee, which does organize all these lovely festivals for us, whether it was Christmas, New Year's, Diwali, Ganpati. Diwali, actually, we did not have the good fortune of attending from campus, but we're hoping that we do celebrate it with each other and a lot of you this October. So we also have TEDx SIU Lavale, which is organized by the entrepreneurship cell at SIDTM. So campus life is exciting. It is very hectic. We have classes all day long, but at the end of the day, when you do sit with your friends to either sit for dinner or sit to play or just attend all of these lovely seminars and talks that we have, you realize that the true spirit of doing an MBA is actually not just your classrooms, but also the peer interaction that you have. And I'm very grateful for all my colleagues at SIDTM, because with every day that I spend here, I'm learning not just about them, but also from them. And I'm certain that it will take all of us a long way.
Okay, so we have a question from Pushkar. Can I apply for SIDTM? I don't have any background in data or technology. So Pushkar, I would like to say you that you don't need to have any background in data or technology to be a part of SIDTM. Here in SIDTM, we have people from almost every backgrounds, including backgrounds that you would not even expect. We initially, there are bridge classes so that you can, cope up with the technology subjects. And there is also peer-to-peer learning. So you can learn from your friends. The faculty here are very supportive. So just don't think about your background. It's the interest that matters. And if you have interest, then you can create wonders.
The next question we have is from Simran Vora. Is 80 percentile enough to get a call? I'm guessing you're talking about getting a call at SIDTM. Simran, the percentile or the cutoff is never disclosed by Symbiosis International University, and it is at their discretion, and it is dynamic in nature. Now that the scores are out, I know it's very easy for us to say this sitting here, and I'm sure the whole process is very daunting because the anticipation can be killing, but we've been there, we know what it is like. So just try and keep calm for a few more days. You will start receiving your call letters to whichever institute you've made it to, and start preparing for the GDPI process, because this is the final leg. I was very uncertain about my SNAP score wasn't what I expected it to be, and I was very uncertain whether I would make it to SIDTM or not. But the GDPI process also accounts for 50%. So just getting a call is not important. Converting the call to actually be a part of the institute is, and that will only happen if you focus and prepare well for what is to come next. So please make sure that you are giving enough time and devoting enough of your headspace and effort towards preparing for the GDPI process.
Okay, so the next question is from Shreya Anand. Please enlighten the average placement figure for freshers. So Shreya, I would say that the average placement for the entire batch this season, this year has been 11.63 lakhs per annum, and the average for freshers has been a 9.86 lakhs per annum. And I can say you that SIDTM does not differentiate on the basis of whether you have experience or not. It depends on the learning that you get, how well you can present yourself in the front of the recruiters, and how well you are versed with the subjects, how well you have learned in the 2 years, and if you can actually put it take in all the check boxes, then I think you are placement ready.
Okay, the next question we have is from Kumar. As a non-engineer, is it worth it to join SIDTM? What's your point of view about this? Kumar, I am a non-engineer. When I did join this institute, I had absolutely no knowledge about anything digital or telecom. My purview was very limited to what I wanted to do. No, I mean, this is not because I am here, but it is actually a life-changing experience for me, because now I know about things that I did not know before, because it's a whole new domain. Like now when I think of it, if I was in a regular B school that was not as niche as SIDTM, I would not have learned a lot, because I do have friends in other colleges, and when we discuss, sometimes we discuss our assignments, and a lot of them are similar, because we do have your regular MBA subjects. But then once in a while, I will, like, if I'm talking to a friend over the phone, and if like there is a glitch or the call drops or something, and I'm like, oh, I know exactly why it happened. And it's nice. It's a little funny moment that you have there, because you now get to talk to people. You also have a lot of points to talk about. And no, it's not difficult, because the faculty that is here, thankfully, touchwood, we've been blessed with a lot of people who are from the industry, very, very experienced, and at the same time very patient. So even if you ask them doubts which you would think very mundane or very basic in nature, you are not shunned out for asking questions that they, like, that you don't deem necessarily fit to for a student of like an MBA student. Like sometimes I ask very basic questions about like billing cycles and and billing cycles are across industries. So even when it comes to marketing, sometimes my questions may not be up to the mark as I'd like them to be, but the faculty does take a lot of time, takes a lot of painstaking efforts to ensure that you understand. So no, there is for everyone, if like I said this before, the future is not digital, the present is. And if you really want to make an impact in your present and to your present, then SIDTM is the place to be, because here you learn practically everything that you would ever require. Suryashish, now I've spoken a lot about like a non-engineer's perspective. You are an engineer. You're also from the system specialization, analytics specialization, I'm sorry. Why don't you elaborate on your learnings, or what has your journey been so far?
Okay, so as I already said that whether you are an engineer or you are a non-engineer, SIDTM will not differentiate you on the basis of that. The learning is basically same for all. You have bridge classes initially, so those classes are very helpful to get used to the techno subjects. And coming to the analytics specialization, I think it's a fun specialization. Those who love statistics, those who love data, they can take the analytics specializations. Here we are taught various softwares like SPSS, we are taught R, we are taught data mining, and it's pretty fun to learn all these subjects. And another thing I would like to tell all of you is that take the specialization that you like, because all the three specializations will provide you equal opportunities in terms of placement. So please don't think that taking any one specialization will boost your placement opportunity. That's not at all. And just study the three specializations, go through the subjects offered, and take the specialization of your choice.
The next question, which is actually very interesting, Vishal asks, I am a BSc agriculture student. What kind of questions should I expect? Vishal, I also do have a classmate who's done his specialization, whose undergraduate is zoology. And when we did talk to him, so remember that the recruiter, the faculty here is trying to understand you as a person, and they're looking for students who are willing to learn, because at the end of it, this MBA is it's more than just a degree. It molds your personality, it molds the way you think, it reshapes your thinking as well. So if you are willing to learn, willing to unlearn and then relearn, is what they're looking for. So you can expect questions around the policies implemented by the government, because they will want to question, like I said, learn, unlearn, relearn. They want to question what you've already learned. So they will ask you about policies implemented by the government, or they may ask you about your point of view on the farm laws, or they may ask you about the minimum selling price or food security, things like that. Also, please pay very close attention. This is for all the aspirants here. The budget was out yesterday, so do make sure that you start making notes and pay close attention to what was discussed in the budget, because that is actually a good talking point for your interviews and your group discussions. So please pay close attention to that. And they will ask you questions about your hobbies, and why did you choose to do BSc in agriculture? What is it that you learned there? What was the subject that you really enjoyed, one subject that you really disliked? And where do you see yourself, like, now that you have a BSc in agriculture, and now that you're doing digital, if you do come here, digital and telecom, where do you see your career going? So all of those questions will be asked, and the answer to all of how to answer all of these questions, I cannot answer them for you, but I can tell you is that the more you know yourself, the better you will be able to portray your understanding, which is why I've been saying time and again, try and note down all these things. I used to keep a diary with me. Every time I would get an idea about how I want to approach a certain question, I would note it down. On the D day, it does actually help you. So keep that in mind, and wishing you all the very best, Vishal.
Okay, so the next question is from Shail Sheth. Hi, I am from a non-commerce background. For pursuing a specialization in marketing and finance at SIDTM, will I require prerequisites of finance subjects to get selected in SIDTM? So I would say that it might be required in an interview, because as I have already said, the interview is a very random process. Any questions could be asked. And please remember that in an interview, definitely questions from your background is a must. Please prepare for that. But sometimes it happens that you get questions asked on general knowledge. For example, who is the chief minister of so and so state? Suppose you have mentioned your home state as some state. So you are expected to know the chief minister, the finance minister of the country. You are supposed to know the prime minister of the country, and keep in mind that whenever you mention some hobby, it's again expected that you will know more about your hobby. For example, I told my hobby as football, so the interviewer asked me many questions on football, and one of the questions I remember was, what is the size of a football, which I did not know. So please remember that whatever you are mentioning, go through that. Okay, it's not only uh, the subjects or the background that matters. Try to learn everything from GK to hobbies, whatever describes you.
The next question we have is, do all students at SIDTM get placed? Yes, Symbiosis Institute of Digital and Telecom Management does boast of 100% placements for all its eligible students. There is no discrimination on the basis of your previous education qualification, or your marks, or what your basically SIDTM will, even in terms of experience, it's not that SIDTM will push for experienced students for certain job profiles and freshers for certain. You are allowed to sit for any process, any company that you choose, and if you're eligible for it, the institute does not discriminate. At this point, our seniors who are also with us here they are all very happy with their placements, and it's absolutely heartwarming to see the smiles on their faces when they talk about, like, the journey that they've had, and how it has finally culminated into things that they've actually wished for themselves. And a lot of this comes from the learning that you do get at the institute. So yes, there is 100% placement at SIDTM for all eligible students. And the placement report is on the website for all of those who want to check it out. The link to the website is also in the description box below. Also the link to register for SIDTM, because the date has been extended now and the last date is 3rd February 2022. Do go register if that is what you want to do. The link for the same is in the description box below.
Okay, so the next question is from Arnav Chatterjee. Can you tell us about the hostel and mess facilities available on the campus? So to experience the hostel and mess facilities, it is important to have offline classes. And I really, really hope that you all can actually experience the beauty of the campus, and really hope to see you all. So coming to the hostel, so basically the hostel is divided into girls and boys hostel. And those who have lived in hostel, they know the fun of staying in hostel. Hostels are actually a heaven, and it's one of the best experiences of your life, to hang out with your friends, to stay with your friends, and to actually do your assignments and everything with your friends. Suppose the next day you have an exam, to study with your friends. So everything is possible in hostel, and it's one of the best experience you can ever have. And I really, really hope that you all have the opportunity to stay in hostel.
Okay, the next question we have is about the fees of the institute. So the fees for SIDTM is dynamic, as in it changes year on year. The link for the same is in the description box. The link to the website is in the description box. The updated curriculum and the updated fees are mentioned on the website. So please do check it out. The next question we have is from Rishabh. Is a high percentile an advantage during interviews? Rishabh, a high percentile in SNAP will give you a larger weightage in your overall curriculum, overall mark sheet, because SNAP is 50% of the weightage. But having said that, having a high SNAP score does not mean that you will not score well on your GDPI process, because both of them are not dependent variables, they are independent. So your SNAP score is on the basis of your performance in SNAP, and your GDPI score is on the basis of your performance in the GDPI process, the GDPI and written ability test process. So remember, both of them do not have any effect on each other, but together, the accumulation of both the scores is what will determine your final admission letter to the institute. So yes, your call letter is dependent on your SNAP score, but your final admission letter will be an amalgamation of both your SNAP and your GDPI. So in case someone has not performed to their best during SNAP, and if you do get a call letter from the institutes, remember that nothing is lost. You still have one last opportunity, which is why we keep saying that please focus on the process and the preparation for the process. Don't while away this time. For written ability test, try writing answers, try writing essays on various topics, like choose from different domains, write about films, write about movies, write about music, write about sports, anything under the sun that you can think of, start writing. And that is one way to practice, because that is what I used to do. So do that, and just know if for all of those who do not have a resume, do build a resume for yourself, because that will help you put your thoughts about yourself on paper, and it will help you build pointers for conversations.
So Mishika has asked a question. Do I need to keep backup devices during G pivot? So Mishika, it's advised to keep a backup device ready, but the interviewers are considerate enough if you have a power cut or anything in between. So the mobile itself can act as a backup device. Just make sure that it has a stable internet connection, and it has the necessary apps installed.
Okay. The next question we have is from Arnav Chatterjee, and he's asking us, can you tell us about the faculties at SIDTM? So I've already covered this, but the faculty at SIDTM is it's a mix of people, all of those who've been, some who are part of the industry, some who have been part of the industry and some who are purely from the academia world. They're all very patient, very kind. They actually make, so all this while we've been attending online classes, and believe it or not, sometimes because we have to follow COVID safety protocols, which the campus does ensure are followed optimally, a limited number of students, like every day a new batch of students is allowed to attend classes, because equal opportunities have to be given to everyone. There is actually a line sometimes, because we are following hybrid at the moment, but everyone on campus wants to attend class, and the faculty is actually kind enough to like take one lecture over a certain time span, so that everyone gets the opportunity and no one is upset about not being there. And they do take care of you like you are their own. They take time to solve your doubts. You can always email them or drop them messages to talk to them about any doubts that you have, and they do actually reply to their emails very promptly. So the faculty here is very knowledgeable, and they push you to learn beyond the curriculum. So for example, if we're studying business statistics, we're not just studying that, we're also trying to understand how business statistics can be implied to business intelligence, and what is it that we can do better in the digital and telecom space to acquire new customers. Or when we're doing an HBR case study, how is customer lifetime value going to be incorporated there? So they push you to think. It's not just theory, it's also thinking.
Okay, so the next question is from Nityunjoy Paul. Is it good for engineers from electrical or mechanical stream? So Nityunjoy, my graduation is in mechanical engineering, and I can say that I have faced no problem here at SIDTM, because here in SIDTM initially we would be having bridge classes, so you can easily cope up to the curriculum by attending those bridge classes. And there is also peer-to-peer learning. Your friends will help you. The faculty is very supportive. And also keep in mind that SIDTM will just treat you as a graduate student. They will not try to know your graduation field. So every student is equal in SIDTM, and once you become a part of SIDTM, you will get to know that.
Okay.
All the best.
The next question we have is from Anirudh Khurana. What would be asked in the GE process? Would it be a discussion or some sort of pictorial exercise? Anirudh, last year we had a discussion. We did not have a pictorial exercise, but then again, this depends on the faculty. They may want to switch it up this year. Like I said, my topic for the GE was, will Kora ever become Wikipedia? But at the same time, a friend of mine, the topic that he had for the GE at SIDTM was, will robots ever take over humanity? And like I said, the questions, mine was Kora based on social media and like social networking. This is about robotics and sci-fi. So a lot of times we consider watching TV shows and watching movies and all that a waste of time. But just know that when you get a topic like this, all your Marvel and your Star Trek and all of that will come to good use. So everything that has happened around you, like as human beings, we're a sum total of our experiences, and all of that, try and make sure that your thoughts are collected, which is why it's very important to stay calm on that day. Because for you to be able to express your experiences, you're going to have a calm mind and be able to answer all of those. So I cannot actually comment on whether it will be an exercise or a discussion, but just be prepared. And wishing you all of you the very best in your endeavor when you do go take the GDPI process.
Okay, so the next question is from Prince Kumar. If we take systems and finance, do we need to study coding? So you don't need a knowledge of coding to study systems and finance. Remember that you are here to study MBA, and MBA does not require any coding. So that's a different thing. If you from your end want to study coding, no one will stop you that. No one will stop you on anything that you want to learn. But as a basic background of systems and finance, you do not require coding.
Okay, so dear aspirants, I hope that we were able to answer all of your questions. We know that this is a daunting time for you, but please try and stay calm, do some activity that helps you rejuvenate, and try also, but in the same time, do keep pushing for your preparations. try and this is the last leg. What you do now is going to define the next few years of your life. But at the same time, please stay calm. And for any questions that you may have for us, please reach out to us on our social media handles. And we'd be more than happy to help you in the best way we can. On behalf of the admissions team of Symbiosis Institute of Digital and Telecom Management, wishing all of you all the very best. And thank you for joining us today. Have a great night. Bye-bye. Management, wishing all of you all the very best. And